Outrage over the president's decision to end a federal program that protects young undocumented immigrants sparked rallies that filled Twin Cities streets.
Protesters from two rallies converged in downtown Minneapolis last night in support of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA. The program kept young immigrants who came to the country as children from being deported as long as they met certain criteria. It is now scheduled to expire in 6 months. However, President Donald Trump did urge Congress to come up with a solution to preserve DACA's protections. WCCO's Jeff Wagner saw both rallies firsthand last night, and as he reports, there's a combination of anger and concern.
No DACA! No fear! No DACA! No fear!
From the streets outside GOP headquarters
Nosotros no somos extranjeros
to the plaza neighboring the federal courthouse.
It's a very sad day because it is a wake-up call.
Not one more!
Demands to keep DACA alive cried out across Minneapolis.
You will see all sorts of people here.
Immigration attorney Esteban Rivera watched as one of the rallies started right outside his office, but he didn't need to be on the ground in order to hear their concerns.
I have clients, tens of clients, who have this benefit, DACA, and they work at Boston Scientific, at Cargill, at Target, and they are not going to be able to work when their work authorization card expires.
The fear of losing a job, the ability to attend school, or at worst be deported is what drove DACA recipients and their supporters to march more than a mile across downtown.
Dreamers make America great!
The courthouse rally stifled traffic, angering drivers.
This is what breaking the law begins.
Minutes later, the two protesting groups were united. Before settling in front of the Hennepin County Jail. Their hope is Congress will come up with a solution to save DACA, but the clock on the 6-month deadline is ticking.
I think it will be very difficult, but I think it's important that the voices of people are heard, and I think people should protest and people should tell the importance of this program.
We won't stop here. This won't stop. I'm not going to stop, and we're not going to stop.
Jeff Wagner, WCCO 4 News.
Rivera is part of a group called the Volunteer Lawyers Network. That group is organizing several sessions over the next month to try to help DACA recipients check their renewal status and file proper paperwork.
Ahead of his meeting with key cabinet members about tax reform, President Donald Trump said that he has a great love for the young immigrants covered by DACA. He is now calling on Congress to act.
And I can tell you, in speaking to members of Congress, they want to be able to do something and do it right. And really, we have no choice. We have to be able to do something. And I think it's going to work out very well. And long term, it's going to be the right solution.
The president tweeted last night, Congress now has 6 months to legalize DACA, something the Obama administration was unable to do. If they can't, I will revisit this issue. The most powerful Atlantic storm in recorded history is heading towards Florida.
Hurricane Irma has sustained winds as high as 185 miles per hour. It officially made landfall early this morning in the Caribbean. It's predicted to march towards Puerto Rico and Cuba before possibly heading towards the U.S. mainland this weekend. In the Florida Keys, most of the islands are 3 to 5 feet above sea level, but the Category 5 storm surge could reach 10 feet. President Donald Trump already declared emergencies in Florida, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands.
A Minnesotan is stuck in the path of Hurricane Irma. Samantha Kaffenbarger moved to the island of St. Thomas after grad school. The storm is expected to pass just north of there later today. Kaffenbarger tried to book a flight out, but said more people live there than could possibly get out in time.
Got food, water for at least a week here. I'm actually staying at my boss's house, not at my own house, because I just didn't want to be alone. But we have food, water, as many backup candles, everything that we've got to go and ready.
Now, Samantha says the worst part of the waiting is, the worst part is waiting, I should say, so they've just been trying to keep busy preparing to keep their minds off the storm. There is now a curfew in effect on St. Thomas. Stay with WCCO for continuing coverage of Hurricane Irma.
We're hoping to learn more today after a missing teenager is found safe and 3 people are in custody. According to family, Jasmine Block was last seen on August 8th at her Alexandria home. She left behind her phone, keys, and bike. before disappearing. Police said she was found in nearby Grant County in a rural area yesterday. She was taken to Douglas County Hospital, treated for minor injuries. It is unclear what the circumstances are behind Block's disappearance, but the police do say 3 people were arrested in connection to it. We're expecting to get more information on all of this today.
Severe weather earlier this summer is having an impact on some Twin Cities apple orchards.
It's like half of your factory being shut down. Basically, that's what these trees are. Those are our factories.
Minnetonka Orchards was one of several hit by a hailstorm in early June. It left dents and damage in much of the crop, which led orchard owners to cut their prices. Good news, though, we're told the fruit is still good to eat and should taste the same.
Sweet and tangy.
Well, now that meteorologists